when you get your cardboard, you're only getting one piece. But you do need to decide, am I going to use the cardboard scraps to make my design, or am I going to use string? Now the string is glued down, so once it's glued, it shouldn't move. That's what's going to create our lines when we print. Do you all remember how to draw a heart?
Yeah.
Okay, so the first thing we do is we make 2 dots. And notice my first dot on top is a little bit lower. It should not be all the way at the top because I need room to draw up, 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 around, and then back down, 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 down. Okay? We come back up to the top dot. I draw up, 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 around, and down, 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 down. So we want the heart as big as possible. Now, the first one I'm going to show you is with the cardboard. All right, so what we want to do, right now, this line isn't going to print because it's smooth and it's flat and it's flush against the cardboard. We're not going to see this line. We need to create a raised area to print. So I'm going to cut some cardboard shapes, just some scraps. All right, and then what I'm going to do is work it like a puzzle and fit it inside. So we're going to put some glue on the back. Yep. So I'm going to line it up with the edge of my heart. I'm going to do the same thing with this next piece. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start by outlining my heart with glue. I want it to be kind of a thick line. Normally I say dot, dot, not a lot, but we don't want our string to come loose when we're printing, so we want it to stay. So I'm going to take a piece of yarn, a scrap piece of yarn, and I'm going to put it right here on the glue line, and I'm just going to press it in. And I'm going to go around and follow my glue line, and I'm just pressing and moving the yarn. This part's kind of hard to get it to stay because it's curved, but I'm going to keep going. I ran out of yarn. It doesn't matter what color, because when we print, the color's not going to show.
What?
It's not. The color of the yarn is not going to show. So if I use red and pink yarn, if my ink is black, guess what color my heart's going to be?
Black.
Black. It's not going to be red and pink like my yarn. Okay, so now I'm going to add some more glue. I think I might do another line around the outside. If you finish this today, this will mean that you're going to be ready to print next time. So I'm not going to go any further. I'm going to trim that and push that end into the glue. Okay, so now, next step is I'm going to show you how to print that. All right, so depending on what you choose, either the yarn or the cardboard scraps, the printing process is the same. So what we're going to do is first talk about the roller. The roller is a hard, foamy plastic. I only have 3 of these. So we are going to need to share for the whole class. That means we can only do 3 trays at a time of color. So I have blue, black, and we could do red. So you get to choose. You could even mix colors. We could do blue and red to make purple, or we could do black and red to make a dark red. Those are totally up to you. But for today's demo, I'm going to use red. When you are rolling out the ink, I want you to make sure that you have newspaper underneath you to help with cleanup, because the ink is thick. It's not like paint. It's a little more difficult to clean up. So when you squeeze out the ink, I want you to notice that it's a little bit thicker. When we are rolling out the ink, we want to go first in one direction, and then we're going to switch directions and go in the tray, rolling back and forth. Now the goal is to cover the entire roller with ink, and I think I'm actually going to add some more ink to this tray. So we're just going back and forth and then switching directions and going back and forth until the entire roller is evenly covered with ink all the way across. Once that's done, put the tray of ink off to the side, and you are going to roll this across your plate. We call this a plate. If you're doing yarn, you might have to roll it a couple of times because the yarn will absorb some of the ink and not release it. So we want to go over it a couple of times, and then what we do is we take our paper, our printing paper, and I'm going to scoot it over because I don't want any of this ink on the newspaper to get on my paper. We take the paper, we place it on top. Once you've placed it on top, don't pick it up and try to put it back down. We want to leave it in the same spot. There we go. There's my heart print. All right, now, if you're going to do another print, because that's the great thing about printmaking is you can make as many copies as you want, you need to roll out more ink onto your project. So I'm going to roll out some more ink on my yarn, back and forth, grab another paper, and this time I'm going to make a mistake. I'm going to put it down. I'm going to be like, oh, I didn't get it where I want it, and then I'm going to pick it up and put it down again. And I want you to notice my print when I do that. All right, so notice I have two hearts. So I have this lighter heart right here on the edge, and then I have this darker heart because I picked it up and put it back down. So once you put your paper down, don't pick it up again, just leave it where it is, even if it's slightly crooked. It's okay, go ahead and rub on the back and continue through with the print without picking it up. Same process. We want to make sure that we roll the ink out, so I'm going to go in one direction, and then I'm going to switch in the other direction, and I'm going to roll the roller across my cardboard. Now, this one may also take a couple of tries, so I'm going to get some more ink on my roller. We want to make sure that it's evenly rolled across the entire length. And depending on the cardboard you cut, if the cardboard has waves in it, those may not pick up ink. So if you notice here, there's a little indent in that cardboard, that's not going to get ink. Then what we do is we take our paper, make another copy, place it on, and remember, once you place it, don't pick it up and move it, just leave it and rub. Okay, so that's how we print. Today, you won't have time to print. Today, your goal is to get your yarn or your cardboard scraps on your heart shape, and that needs to be dry before you can actually start printing. Let this dry first so you don't lose any of your pieces. All right, have a fun day creating your hearts, and we will see you when I get back.